Bianca Andreescu was gasping. There was an ice pack around her neck. Her coach, Sylvain Bruneau, was calmly giving her instructions on how to deal more effectively with her heavy-hitting opponent. But that wasn't the problem. "How is everything?" he said quietly. Bianca Andreescu receives medical treatment during her match against Estonia's Anett Kontaveit. The Canadian teen retired in the second set. Lynne Sladky, the Associated Press. Andreescu didn't respond immediately. Then she said just audibly enough for the microphones to hear, "I'm gone." Bruneau, who had inspired Andreescu with his pep talks on a number of occasions during her impressive winning streak, paused, and then calmly told her just to take it point by point, trailing Anett Kontaveit of Estonia 4-1 in the first set at the Miami Open on Monday afternoon. However, it was evident the fight was gone out of the hottest player in tennis. And Andreescu didn't win another game. In fact, the 18-year-old Mississauga native only played 4 more games before calling it a day, retiring while citing the same sore right shoulder that she had needed treatment for on several occasions Saturday night in a marathon win over Angelique Kerber of Germany. Kerber called Andreescu a drama queen, in part for those medical timeouts, but the truth was the young Canadian was battling a legitimate injury that finally caught up with her against Kontaveit. Time now for a rest. A significant break. Andreescu was, don't forget, playing her 35th match of the season against Kontaveit, more than any player on either the men's or women's tour. She was 31-3 going into the match, but all those matches and all that travel and all the attention she's now receiving seemed to catch up with her on a sweltering, 26-degree-C day in South Florida. She seemed listless from the start, and by the time she packed it in, she looked helpless. Still, losing to Kontaveit in such a disappointing manner doesn't change what has been an extraordinary rise into the top 25 of women's tennis. What was, however, was a stark warning, one that Bruneau will certainly take notice of as he and Andreescu plot her schedule for the coming weeks and months. Pro tennis is an unrelenting, punishing series of tournaments, an extraordinary grind that builds in few breaks for those at the top of the sport. It's up to the players, when they can, to engineer their own breaks. The times when players are 100% healthy, or even 75%, are rare. Kontaveit had only played 18 matches this season, compared to Andreescu's totals, and from the start, the Estonian looked fresher and stronger. The pair were into their second game when rain interrupted the match for 90 minutes. When they resumed, it was far more humid, and then they had to go through another warm-up. Serving into the sun, Andreescu promptly double-faulted twice and hit a wild forehand to fall behind 2-0, and was down 4-1 before she even seemed to understand why Kontaveit was beating her so easily. For the most part, the 23-year-old, ranked number 19 in the world, just sat in the middle of the court and pounded ground strokes, while Andreescu could neither push her back or make her move with her wide variety of weapons. Andreescu was basically a punching bag. The Canadian had already dodged a bullet earlier in the tournament, charging from down a set in 2 breaks to defeat Romania's Irina Camelia Begu in the first round. Against Kontaveit, however, there was to be no stirring comeback. Andreescu's spectacular bubble had burst, and now the challenge will be to get healthy and back in form as soon as possible. The next big event is in early May in Madrid, followed by the French Open 3 weeks later. So there's a window available now to take a break, get the shoulder pain free and then get rolling again. The problem is that Andreescu is a hot commodity on tour right now and in demand. Moreover, she might lose that edge that had her winning almost every match by taking a few weeks off. And don't forget, in tennis, you don't play, you don't get paid. You don't win, you don't get paid much. This isn't the NBA where you can take all kinds of games off for load management and still draw a massive salary. Pulling the reins back, even if it's the logical thing to do, isn't always easy in an individual sport like tennis. Nobody likes to take a seat when things are going so well and the prize money is flowing in. So It will be interesting to see the choices Andreescu makes. Bruneau knows her and her injury history well and likely will understand now is the time to stop. The abrupt end to this promising run in Miami shouldn't detract from the extraordinary upgrades Andreescu has made to her game this season. Nor should Kerber's classless remarks be anything but ignored. Veteran players always take it hard when youngsters start succeeding at their expense. The more successful Andreescu is, the more other players will be looking to take her down a peg or two. That certainly seemed to be Kontaveit's mindset on Monday afternoon. She had a game plan and took her opponent to the woodshed. Except for the very best players in tennis, most weeks are going to end with a loss. Andreescu's equally promising fellow teenagers, Denis Shapovalov and Felix Auger-Aliassime, are learning that hard lesson in their opening years on the tour, and she is, too. Indian Wells last weekend was a spectacular, wonderful result for Andreescu. Now, it just gets harder as the expectations get greater. We know she's got the game. But to succeed in this sport over the long haul, you need more than that. Damian Cox is a former Star Sports reporter, who is a current freelance columnist based in Toronto. Follow him on Twitter, @DamasBinReport, and air journalistic standards about the Star Sports action and reaction delivered to your inbox. New NEWSLETTERSPORTSSIGN up.